does humanity go from here? What have we tried to do? What if there is more, much more? The Keshe Foundation is proud to announce a new way to bring humanity forward through technology that brings humanity in line with the natural operation of the planet and universe itself. The new science and technology discovered and developed by the nuclear engineer Moran Keshe centers upon the use and control of magnetico-gravitational fields. This new body of knowledge opens the road to hundreds of potential applications, which offer solutions to most of the fundamental problems of the world, such as water, food, environmental contamination, and shortages of energy. The Keshe Foundation is proud to unveil the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Nestled amidst the beautiful shores of Bari, Italy, the Institute is poised to become the central hub in the spreading of plasma technology and knowledge. With its state-of-the-art 21st century facilities, the Institute will be able to provide students and staff an immersive way to learn the plasma technology, to be the leaders of the new generation of scientists and plasma engineers. The Keshe Foundation has opened the door to the world for peaceful usage of technology that is independent of the limited resources that are available on Earth. This is an understanding of how everything works together in harmony in our universe, and it applies to everything from the smallest to the biggest, from atoms to galaxies. We all are able to collectively work together in pursuit of knowledge, innovation, and solutions for our society. This learning environment is new to the world, where there will be no test to confirm your understanding. The knowledge of everyone will be respected and allowed to flourish in a nurturing environment. Hands-on testing and experimenting will be widely used in conjunction with roundtable discussions to bring all opinions and knowledge forward. Students will be introduced to a change in the ethos of working in collaboration. Students will experience firsthand how we share knowledge in a free and open manner. Graduating students are expected to share the knowledge they gain from the university within their respective communities and nations. All formal teachings, lectures, and presentations will be in the English language, with technology available for immediate translation. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will be offering 3-year executive master programs for undergraduate degree students and 1-year executive master programs for graduate degree students in the following fields: space transportation, new plasma technology, health, agriculture, materials, energy. The health section is designed to make students able to live in space without the need to return to Earth. To this end, the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute has found processes for many diseases including ALS, cancer, coma, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will offer online teaching courses which will enable anyone, anywhere around the world to enroll and increase their knowledge and understanding. Students will have the opportunity to direct their work towards commercial spin-offs and seek funding through the help of the Keshe Foundation. The access to the new science and new technologies is openly available for peaceful use to the benefit of mankind to make a better world today. Now you can be part of the changing world and the new knowledge. All commercial spin-offs are intended to be open source and patent-free. This is part of the core ethos of the Keshe Foundation and the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will have its official inauguration on April 21st, 2015, with courses commencing soon after, on May 4th, 2015. The students of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will be the leaders of the future who will make changes in all areas of space technology, science, medicine, agriculture, and energy. Anyone is able to apply, but acceptance is through invitation only. No prerequisites are required. We will be accepting approximately 250 students for the 3-year Executive Master's Program and 120 students for the 1-year Executive Master's Program. We welcome humanity's participation in the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Where does humanity go from here? That is up to you. Apply today.
Okay, that was the promotional video for the KFSSI. And now we'll move into the 16th Kids Knowledge Seekers Workshop. It's Tuesday, May 19th. And first we'll hear from Kevin Devani, see what he has to say, and he can segue into speaking with Mr. Keshe. Okay, Kevin, are you there?
Hi, Rick. Hello. Hello, Mr. Keshe. Hi, Vince. Mr. Keshe, I know you have to leave the university building in latest, I think, 30 minutes or so. So I thought the questions or the topic that you just touched upon with the mobile phones and the headphones having an impact and effect on the brain. And since we know that there are kids, so many of them as young as 10 or even much younger actually, who using constantly the smartphones or iPhones or what have you, would you want to, I mean, is that enough time to go into detail and explain what does it do? I do understand that, especially now in the health teaching workshop, that the emotional state of mind has a tremendous effect on the development of whatever tumor in the brain. But especially regarding, children, could you go into that issue right now, or would you want to talk about something else?
Yes, no
Thank you.
problem. First of all, good evening, good day, whenever, as usual, you listen to children. When I was listening to the promotional video, I thought we don't need many mature people, we need a lot of children to join us. And in time, we should be able to facilitate their teaching. I can use a scientific way to tell you not to do it, or I can use the traditional way as we know, Mr. Dubfire with a little dinosaur. Don't use mobile phone. But you remember Mr. Dubfire. Yeah. That was the only way he managed to get to children with little gimmicks. So, unfortunately, I don't know if dinosaurs would have had a brain hemorrhage with using mobile phone that time, but most of it, they had their own way of communicating. We do not know the full extent of the interaction of the fields and the waves which hit the human brain structure through the mobile phones, because we always have looked at physicality, and as you understand, and we were explaining another part of the teaching, every physical knowledge we receive as a human being, we show some reaction and emotions towards it. Be it the voice of a friend, be it the voice of a teacher, be it the bell of the school, and whatever else, we have some reactions toward it. It's the same when we listen to, or we make a telephone call and keep our conversations very close to our ears that nobody can hear, because when we are young, everything is a secret. So even the noise on the phone, which is nothing, is secret. Mom and dad should not know. But we show a reaction to it. And this reaction, which is emotional, can be, and to our understanding, is part of the main problem with the mobile phones and their use so close to the proximity of the brain of the man. We know for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, and the researches which are coming from all over the world shows us young girls with a breast cancer at the age of 12, 14, 16 is becoming common. Young boys with a testicle cancer at the ages of 12, 14, 15 is becoming common. Reason? Girls hide their mobile phones in the bras, and boys put the mobile phone in their pockets. They think because they are not using it, there is no problem. But I tell you a very bad news. If you've been in my position and you have worked with the security forces for different aspects of your life, one of the first things security people, they teach you, a lot of you switch your mobile phone and you think that's it, it's finished. Some of you are very clever and you take your battery out and you think it's finished. But according to the security people who work at the edge of the science, you take your battery out, you switch your mobile phone, I can still listen to your conversations at home, even take 1 or 2 pictures while there is no battery in it. Because remember one fundamental truth. You take your SIM card out and you put a new SIM card in and you go on a holiday, you come back after a month, you lose your phone for 4 or 5 weeks, you come back after 4 or 5 weeks, the information is still there. The time remembered, the calendar is remembered. Events you put in there are recognized. Means there is a low amount of energy needed. So your phone is continuously active even when you take it out of your pocket. Take the battery out. So it's not that because it's switched off, it's not active. Continuously it has to send information to the nearest mass, and it has to receive information to indicate where it is. That if mama calls you or the boyfriend calls you, he knows where you are and it rings. It doesn't ring anywhere else. It rings only on your number, which means it's continuously in communication with your telephone. It means continuously you're receiving and sending information. Information is magnetic gravitational field based. Your body is made of gravitational magnetic field, so it interacts. One of the first things a lot of people know, understand, who are around me, I always say, I have nothing to fear, to hide. I openly speak openly on my phone. Secondly, it's very seldom I put phones in my pocket of trousers. I put the pockets, my jacket, where I can usually find them. Because there is a gap, there is a distance created than being in touch with me. You got to understand something very clearly, that a lot of mobile phones are doing every effort to hide all the researches to do with children and the cancer of children in respect of mobile phones. Because the biggest customer base lifetime goals. You sell a mobile phone to a 60-year-old man, 5 or 10 years he's dead. You sell a mobile phone to a 5-year-old child, you got 60 years of supply customer attachment. This is what the youth have to understand. Can we replace it with anything else because it's the joy of your life? Present science has no solution. Can we add to it that it becomes harmless? We do not have a solution. Even if we produce graphetical information transfer, it still interacts with our emotion and our brain. But the only solution at the moment, according to the people we talk to and we listen to, is try to use it and try to keep it as far as you can from your physicality of the body. We've seen huge amount of rise in the breast cancer in the age of 18, 20 age bracket, which originally did not exist. Some doctors blame something through the new sexual habits, but a large indication is because what it appears to be to do with the mobile phones. A lot of research is done by the mobile manufacturers to find a solution we are working on its condition to reduce certain plasmatic conditions of it. I was talking to Sohail and Armor, the Chinese arm of the manufacturing, that if we can release this material as fast as possible, if you have, or you can see, excuse me, cameraman, can you bring your camera close? If you see, if you look at our laptop, yeah, come close as you can. You see the material here. You see another material here. You see the same kind of material on the back of our laptops. And these are the methods we have devised for ourselves to be able to protect ourselves from the radiation in the plasmatic or field condition. These will be commercialized soon by the foundation. You can buy it off the line. But we know they work. We have tested them. We know their condition. Do we have to place these on a mobile phones for children? Possibly, yes. Would it have the same effect? We don't know. With these kind of technologies, we try to create a condition of absorption without radiation. Because if you block all the fields, we cannot listen to it. But there's a limit in what you can do. There are limits. Is there possibility in the future that the manufacturers produce systems matching the structure of the human body? So you like give a blood test, or they do a scan of your brain. This is what suits you as a telephone, because these are the range of the frequencies which do not affect you physically. There are a lot of possibilities, but one of the things which nobody has considered, the connection between the emotion at the time of using the phone and the information which arrived at the phone. This is something very fundamental, needs to be done, but that goes to the government. It goes to the root of the problem of the government, because it creates huge amount of finance, mobile phones for nations. It's a kind of security control, because through the cell phone they control all the securities, and then it tells you where everybody is. But how close do we want to be? And how close we want to use these systems? There are those, we explained this in other workshops, that when they go near a mobile telephone mast or use certain type of mobile phones, they get headache, they vomit, they have what you call epileptic attacks. We know, we hear these rare cases, but this means that the system interacts with certain part of the emotion through the neurosystem. These things we do not know. It needs for a lot of research. But what we see, what we can advise, what we understand, being on this side of the science, is try to keep out as much as you can unwanted field energies towards your body. And this goes the same with your eyes, the same goes with your ears, and the same goes with everything else. Last night I tried something new, a new condition which I wanted to do something, and this morning till more lunchtime I could not see anything. Everything was very blurred to me. So through the process I affected my neurosystem of observation. I said to my wife this morning, I can't see anything, I just see shadows. And if such a thing, it's a high definition, rapid movement of the light, can do such an effect at my age, then it means there are problems with others. I know how to rectify it, I know how to build systems to overcome it, but it was so profound, 12 hours later, I still was nearly totally blind. I could not see, that's why I couldn't drive today. I had to be driven, and now you know I have to walk back home because of it. You understand? So at the moment, everything is good. I can read and I can do everything. But I created a condition which affected my eye, my sight. So I don't think it is any different to the others, especially with the children with the headphones. And I know Kevin wants this to be heard. We do not tell you not to use because then we become the enemies. All we say to you, we do not know yet how much harm it can do. It's better to be careful. Because I have 4 children, I know when you tell them not to do, they do more of it. It's better to say you decide how much harm you want to be done to you, and then it's their decision making. Any other question?
Mr. Keshe, yeah, before my last question, I've made my own observation. I've made it to a habit for myself to turn off the Wi-Fi, the wireless LAN, for the internet connection. Just unplug it before I go to sleep, so I sleep much better. And to me, it's a little bit shocking, that it goes so far with the smartphones that even if you take out the I heard that, I thought it's a rumor, but since you're saying it, it's a fact that even if you take out the battery and everything else, it's still active, sort of.
Oh, don't forget, a lot of security services in the West rely on your stupidity. A lot of people rely on the cases that take the battery, nothing works, but that's the best time we know we got to listen.
Yeah. So my question would be, I don't know whether you misunderstood you. Once you talked about the increase of the radiation, the radioactivity, especially connection with Fukushima. Could it also be in this case, when it comes to younger people, that their RNA, DNA somehow adapts to this increasing, let's say, more dangerous environment? Adaptation?
Yeah, we should do, and we have done, and we do.
Thank you.
The younger generation RNA will accept higher radiation level. There's no doubt about it. Because don't forget, the conditions like Chernobyl, conditions like Fukushima, conditions like other nuclear reactors in Eastern Bloc, which are out of the, what they call it, in a Wild West condition, and nobody talks about them. They're putting more radiation in the atmosphere than Fukushima does in Western Europe. We do not see these, but they get rain on us through our skull, through our skin. So our older generation will come up with a lot of Alzheimer's. We'll have a lot of large percentage of people with these different kind of stroke and different kind of brain cancers. But our younger generation will adapt to it very rapidly because it becomes part of their structure, so they react to it. It's scientifically known, if you carry any defects or any changes in your structure over 25 years, will imprint in your RNA and it becomes part of your DNA. So if you're a very clever man at the age of 20, you have a clever child. But if you're a stupid man at 20 and have a child at 20, 22, you would not expect such a change much with what you have carried. But if you become highly intelligent at the age of 45 and then have a child, you'll find out you have a very highly intelligent child because it took you 20 years to develop the knowledge. And you pass that on to your child. This is one of the biggest problems with what we see now, what they call, I've spoken about this, old age parenthood. Grandfathers who become parents. Especially in Italy and in Western world, it's become very fashionable. 55, 60, 65 rich men exchange money for the youth, 25, 30-year-old girls. And what do the girls look for? Security. Sometimes secretaries in the age of 45, 40, with a man of 60, 70. What do they look for? Security that he won't leave me for a younger bird. Outcome, the child. We see children, and it's scientifically proven, and I've explained about this before, children from the parents of 40 plus inherit not to speak at least by the age of 4, and intellectually interacted sociably by age of 7, and then at age of 9 plus, they become highly intelligent. This is what the survey research shows. So we pass on. If at age of 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years old, we received a high dosage of radiation, let's say through Fukushima, we have adapted to it. That doesn't matter what, we give it to our children and it becomes normality to them. But if you receive radiation at the age of 40, and then it changes in the structure, at this moment, we don't know what is the child of the future going to be from this inception. So when you're young, 100%, when you receive the dosage of radiation from Fukushima 3 years, 4 years ago, whatever, 2011, there it has affected your RNA 100%. Depending on where you've been and how much of it you absorbed. And then this change in RNA, it means most probably if you live, people born in 2000, 2010 are expected to live between 200 to 400 years. That's a common understanding. It'll be very normal. If you're born 1975, 1985, life expectancy is 140 years today. We see it. It's inevitable. So we've got to look at the children of these people in 2000 to 100 to 200 and see how the absorption of the radiation is embedded in the RNA, which has led to creation of physical DNA. If they are better, they can absorb more radiation or not. If you're born to a father who's been working in the radiation field, you most probably stand a good chance of absorbing a lot of radiation. Because if the father had you at the age when he was a student or he was working in the radiation field as a youth, he has already orientated it and has given you the information. So you can stand high level of radiation. Example, me, being brought up in a high field radiation with a father in X-ray, being in the environment of radiation, I can stand huge amount of dosage of radiation unknown, without any genetic defects or any problem. So I have managed in the process to carry part of the information of the gene of my father. Because we know people with the field of radiation have all sorts of side effects. He's 85, we don't see that much of it, so it means he has accepted as part of DNA. It's taken 60 years to see it, but we both are the two examples of it. Means, with the test done on me, I can stand huge amount of radiation, which means my RNA has already evolved because I've been open to a huge amount of radiation from childhood. Been taken to X-ray rooms by my father, to the hospitals, when the X-ray machines were doing what he was working. But would my child accept, or would he mutate, knowing that he's born during the Fukushima time? Would he add to what I have and bring up a new race of man who can withstand high dosage of radiation, knowing that I already spent a long time handling high radioactive materials, and I'm still here and functioning? So most probably, during 3 generations between my father, me and my son, we are developing a race which can stand high dosage in the space. But would my cousins who come from a different background be able to stand this? No, because we see problems somewhere in the line. So this is a new evolution. We never handled radioactive materials till about 40, 50, 60 years ago, 100 years ago. It was too far to know. But in the coming time, we will see the generation which can stand or has actually, as Darwin put it beautifully, mutated. Because now we receive higher, more dosage of radiation from our environment, so we adapt to it, we mutate, we evolve to accept a new condition. And most probably, our future generations will still have the same 2 hands and 4 arms and whatever we like to call it, but will be able to tolerate, if we could do 10, they might absorb 20 with no problem. But if you put huge amount of radioactive materials in one generation, you will see 100% defects in the immediate children. We see this in Palestine, we see this in Iraq, which what they call plutonium was used as a warhead. Immediately, children are born with 4 arms, 2 legs on their head and the rest, because mutation has changed beyond recognizing in the parent system. I think I was talking about this recently with Caroline, and she's concerned about these things in respect to the new type of children which are getting born in the war zones of present time in Middle East, with abnormalities we have never known. And most of in these areas, we know the people who claimed others are using chemical weapons, they used it themselves and they used nuclear warheads. It's a very good saying. People always tell what they're going to do to you. When they say you got chemical weapons, it means I'm going to test my chemical weapons, but I blame you for it. And now we see children who've been born. Every day we see it on the internet with the new defects, which we know as a nuclear physicist, the source can only be radiation, high dosage. So this is what we have to understand, and we'll see the evolution in time, how the children in northern Japan have changed, how the children in north of China has changed, and if we go with the crosswinds, how people in northern Canada, state of New York, and down across Greenland, and then north of United Kingdom, north of Europe, and then we see the pattern, because as the radiation has reduced, it has created different kind of illnesses across the globe. We will see different kind of cancers, high in increase due to Fukushima, different levels, different places, and then we see how the children of this generation will react to the totality. The book is too early to close. 200 years, we can see. I think we come to the close of
Thank
the
you,
session.
Mr. Keshe, for enlightening.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Hi, welcome.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you, Rick.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Keshe. It looks like the end of the day here.
You're welcome.
So that ends the 16th Kids Knowledge Seekers Workshop, and it's the end of the day for Tuesday, May 19th. Thank you, everybody, for attending the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute teaching sessions.
In a nurturing environment, hands-on testing and experimenting will be widely used in conjunction with roundtable discussions to to bring all opinions and knowledge forward. Students will be introduced to a change in the ethos of working in collaboration. Students will experience firsthand how we share knowledge in a free and open manner. Graduating students are expected to share the knowledge they gain from the university within their respective communities and nations. All formal teachings, lectures, and presentations will be in the English language, with technology available for immediate translation. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will be offering 3-year executive master programs for undergraduate degree students and 1-year executive master programs for graduate degree students in the following fields: space transportation, new plasma technology, health, agriculture, materials, energy. The health section is designed to make students able to live in space without the need to return to Earth. To this end, the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute has found processes for many diseases including ALS, cancer, coma, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will offer online teaching courses which will enable anyone, anywhere around the world to enroll and increase their knowledge and understanding. Students will have the opportunity to direct their work towards commercial spin-offs and seek funding through the help of the Keshe Foundation. The access to the new science and new technologies is openly available for peaceful use to the benefit of mankind to make a better world today. Now you can be part of the changing world and the new knowledge. All commercial spin-offs are intended to be open source and patent-free. This is part of the core ethos of the Keshe Foundation and the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will have its official inauguration on April 21st, 2015, with courses commencing soon after on May 4th, 2015. The students of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute will be the leaders of the future who will make changes in all areas of space technology, science, medicine, agriculture, and energy. Anyone is able to apply, but acceptance is through invitation only. No prerequisites are required. We will be accepting approximately 250 students for the 3-year Executive Master's Program and 120 students for the 1-year Executive Master's Program. We welcome humanity's participation in the knowledge of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Where does humanity go from here? That is up to you. Apply today. Where does humanity go from here? What have we tried to do? What if there is more? Much more? The Keshe Foundation is proud to announce a new way to bring humanity forward through technology that brings humanity in line with the natural operation of the planet and universe itself. The new science and technology discovered and developed by the nuclear engineer Moran Keshe centers upon the use and control of magnetico-gravitational fields. This new body of knowledge opens the road to hundreds of potential applications, which offer solutions to most of the fundamental problems of the world, such as water, food, environmental contamination, and shortages of energy. The Keshe Foundation is proud to unveil the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Nestled amidst the beautiful shores of Bari, Italy, the Institute is poised to become the central hub in the spreading of plasma technology and knowledge. With its state-of-the-art 21st century facilities, the Institute will be able to provide students and staff an immersive way to learn the plasma technology, to be the leaders of the new generation of scientists and plasma engineers. The Keshe Foundation has opened the door to the world for peaceful usage of technology that is independent of the limited resources that are available on Earth. This is an understanding of how everything works together in harmony in our universe, and it applies to everything from the smallest to the biggest, from atoms to galaxies. We all are able to collectively work together in pursuit of knowledge, innovation, and solutions for our society. This learning environment is new to the world, for there will be no test to confirm your understanding. The knowledge of everyone will be respected and allowed to flourish.